when the first light of dawn weaves through the lush green hills, carrying the fresh breath of a new day. There is a moment when heaven and earth seem to pause and whisper. Gentle rays of sunlight caress the dew-drenched fields like the tender hand of the Creator touching his creation. It is not the clamour of the world, not the blare of car horns, or the din of an argument, but the deep rhythm of silence, a wordless song that only open hearts can hear. Dear friends, in a world where everyone races to be noticed, where the loudest voice seems to always claim the spotlight, I invite you to pause, take a deep breath, and embark on a different journey. A journey to discover the sacred beauty of silence. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a doorway that leads you back to yourself, to the dreams you once cherished, to the wounds that need healing, and above all, to the unconditional love of God. Consider an early morning when a still lake mirrors the deep blue sky. Not a ripple stirs its surface, yet beneath lies a vibrant world teeming with life. So too, silence is where you find the strength to grow, to protect your sacred path, and to forge a confidence that needs no fanfare. I once heard the story of Grace, a young woman who felt lost amid the expectations of family and society. One day she sat by a stream, listening to the gentle gurgle of water, and felt a miraculous peace. In that silent moment, Grace realized she didn't need to live by others' rhythms. She began to pray, to listen to the call within her heart, and found her own path. A path that needed no one's approval to be meaningful. The Bible teaches us, "Seek me, and you will find me when you seek me with all your heart." Silence is the space where you seek not only God, but also yourself. It is where you hear his whisper telling you that you were created with a unique purpose, that every step you take, however slow, however unseen, is part of the loving plan he has drawn for you. This journey will guide you through moments of growth where you learn to love yourself, through sacred paths where you guard your dreams, and through trials where you discover a quiet confidence strong as the wind that lifts a bird's wings. Ultimately, this journey will lead you to inner peace, a gift found only when you dare to step into silence. Dear friends, today, I invite you to open your heart to this journey. Let silence become your companion, guiding you through life's storms and drawing you closer to God's light. The Bible reminds us, trust in him, and he will guide you through every path. With an open heart and faith that every moment of silence is a step forward, let us begin together. Not in haste, not in noise, but with gentleness and hope that you are being led to the person God created you to be. In the quiet moments of early morning, when the first sunlight glides over dewdrops on leaves, something sacred softly resonates. It is not the rustle of wind through treetops or the cheerful chirping of birds, but the rhythm of silence, a song only attentive souls can perceive. Dear friends, we live in a noisy world where people vie to be heard, where the loudest voice seems to always seize the stage. But today, when I invite you to pause, take a deep breath, and listen to the power of silence. Silence is not weakness, nor is it surrender to life's relentless pace. It is like a river flowing quietly between its banks, carrying the strength to sweep away obstacles without roaring. When rain falls, it does not proclaim its presence. Its droplets simply seep into the earth, nurturing life. Likewise, when we choose silence, we are not forsaking our voice. We are preserving our words like precious pearls, offered only at the right time to the right person with the right meaning. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength wrapped in dignity. These words are a gentle reminder that silence is an active choice, an act of self-control, wisdom, and deep faith in our own worth. Consider those moments in life when words could shatter a relationship, when a hasty retort could deepen a wound. I once saw a mother faced with harsh criticism from neighbors simply smile and turn away. Years later, that silence dissolved the gossip, for she knew her value did not depend on proving herself to others. Her silence was a shield protecting her soul from the sharp arrows of misunderstanding. The Bible reminds us, "Guard your heart above all else, for it is the wellspring of life." Silence is how we guard that wellspring, keeping our hearts from being swept into storms that are not ours to fight. The world may convince us that speaking out is strength, that responding is justice. But true strength lies in restraint, in knowing that not every battle requires our engagement. Like an oak tree standing firm through seasons of storms, its roots deep in the earth. Silence helps us stand steady amid gossip pressures and expectations that do not belong to us. It allows us to hear the whisper of our heart, the voice of truth, and above all, the call of God, who assures us we are enough even when no one applauds. Silence is not empty. It is full of understanding, compassion, and dreams, waiting to bloom. When you stand by the sea, hearing waves crash against rocks, you need no words to feel the majesty of creation. So too, when you choose silence, you let your presence speak for itself. You let your actions, patience, and love become a voice stronger than any words could be. Dear friends, cherish silence. It is where you find the strength to move forward, to heal, and to love yourself wholly. In the gentle glow of dusk, when the last rays of sunlight bathe endless fields in gold, there is a silence that beckons us to pause. It is a moment when heaven and earth seem to hold their breath, not to flee, but to embrace themselves. Dear friends, life often drives us to chase applause, praise, and the approving glances of others. But today I invite you to embark on a different journey, a journey of growth in silence where you discover your true worth, not through the world's noise, but through the whisper of your soul. Growth does not blossom under the spotlight. It is like a tiny seed sown in dark soil, quietly sprouting in the shadows. No one sees the small roots stubbornly piercing through hard earth. But it is the silence of that darkness that nurtures the seed into a tall tree reaching for the sun. So too, our growth needs no audience. It happens in moments when you sit alone by a window, watching raindrops fall silently, and ask yourself, who am I truly when no one is watching? You are not what they call you. You are the silent decisions you make when no one sees. These words, like a cool breeze, remind us that your worth lies not in titles, social media posts, or fleeting praise, but in the choices you make in the silence of your heart. Think of an early morning when mist still clings to a tranquil lake. The water's surface is still, but beneath a world thrives fish swim reeds, sway gently. The outer silence conceals a vibrant inner life. Your life is the same. When you choose to step away from noise, when you turn off the incessant notifications on your phone, you create space to listen to yourself. I once heard the story of Anna, a young woman working in a bustling city. She chased expectations to succeed, to be liked, to always shine. But one day, exhausted by pressure, Anna sat by a river watching its slow flow. In that silence, she realized she had forgotten herself. She began journaling, praying in the early hours, and gradually found joy that needed no one's approval. Anna's growth came not from awards, but from moments when she dared to face herself. The Bible teaches us, "Let your heart be renewed by a new mind." Silence is where the mind is renewed, where we wash away fears, wounds, sins, and expectation that are not ours. In silence, you hear not only your heartbeat, but also feel God's love, reminding you that you were created for a sacred purpose. I recall the story of David, a man who struggled with feeling inadequate. He worked tirelessly to prove his worth, but the harder he tried, the emptier he felt. One evening in a small room, David knelt and prayed in silence. No loud words, only tears and an open heart. In that moment he heard a gentle whisper, "You are enough in my eyes." From then, David learned to love himself not for what he achieved, but because he knew he was unconditionally loved. Growth in silence is unassuming. It doesn't require you to announce each step forward, to post every pain or joy for validation. Look at wildflowers by the roadside. They need no praise to bloom. They simply rise, adorning life with humble beauty. Likewise, when you grow in silence, you begin to shine from within. You walk with a confidence that needs no boasting. Speak words heavy with wisdom and love with a heart that seeks no reward. Silence gives you space to heal, to forgive yourself, and to rediscover dreams forgotten in life's rush. But this journey is not easy. The world will persuade you that you must always be busy, always proving, always visible. It will make you feel that silence is a waste of time, that you're falling behind. But remember, even the moon hides in darkness at times, yet never loses its light. Your silence is a season of hiding, preparing you to shine brighter. The Bible reminds us everything has its season, and every purpose under heaven has its time. Your growth has its own time, unbound by the world's rhythm. When you take time to listen to your soul, to pray, to pen your deepest thoughts, you sow seeds that will bloom in their season. Silence is also where you learn to let go. Let go of criticisms that made you doubt yourself, unrealistic expectations, and relationships that dishonor your true self. Think of a small stream winding through large rocks. It doesn't try to push the stones aside. It flows quietly, finding its own path. So too, when you grow in silence, you learn to flow through life's obstacles without letting them define you. I recall the story of Sarah, a single mother who felt she had failed by not providing her children a lavish life. But in quiet nights, praying and reflecting, Sarah realized her love and presence were more valuable than any material gift. Silence gave her the strength to carry on, not by comparing herself to others, but by cherishing her own journey. Dear friends, growth in silence is a gift. It is the path that leads you back to yourself, to God's love, and to the purpose you were created to live. Like a mountain standing firm through millennia, needing no words to assert its majesty. Your silence declares that you are enough, that you are growing, and that you are guided by a loving hand. Cherish those silent moments. Let them be where you find strength to heal, to love, and to become your truest self. And when you step out from silence, you will carry a light that cannot be extinguished, a heart that cannot be shaken, and a soul ready to touch the world with love and truth. When moonlight softly paves a path through treetops, casting a shimmering silver veil upon the earth, there is a silence that calls us to slow our steps. It is a moment when all creation seems to blend, not to boast, but to remind us that each of us carries a unique path, etched by the loving hand of the Creator. Dear friends, the world often makes us feel we must explain, justify, or bare our hearts to curious eyes. But today, I invite you to embrace your sacred journey, a path that needs no approval, no explanation, only a heart brave enough to walk it in silence. Your journey is like a small river winding through deep valleys, sometimes meandering, sometimes hidden by mountain shadows. It need not resemble anyone else's river, nor rush or roar to prove its existence. In its silence, the river finds strength to keep flowing, nourishing parched fields it passes. So too, your journey is sacred, distinct, and no one has the right to demand you open your soul for their judgment. You owe no one your journey. These words, like a gentle breeze, sweep away invisible pressures, reminding you that the path you tread is a gift from God, meant for you alone, and you have the right to hold it in the silence of your heart. Think of a snowflake falling in the chill of a winter night. It drifts down quietly, needing no witness, no praise. Yet when countless snowflakes blanket the ground, they create a breathtaking scene, astonishing even the hardest hearts. Your journey is the same. The silent steps, the decisions made in darkness, the tears wiped away when no one sees all, are precious snowflakes quietly building a masterpiece known only to you and God. I once heard the story of Emma, a young girl raised in a family of high expectations. Everyone asked who she would become, what she would do, what she would achieve. But Emma chose to step back. She spent quiet evenings praying, writing her dreams, and listening to the deep call within her. Though misunderstood as wasting time, Emma did not explain. She knew her journey needed no one's approval, and that silence led her to a fulfilling life where she found joy in helping those who needed her most. The Bible teaches us, "Walk in the path I have set for you." Your journey is the path God has drawn, with its turns, detours, and seasons of waiting that only He fully understands. You need not bare your heart to please those who have never walked in your shoes, never felt the cold winds that have blown through your soul. I recall the story of James, a man who grappled with the pain of losing a loved one. Those around him kept asking why he hadn't moved on, why he didn't share more. But James chose silence. He found comfort sitting under an ancient oak, listening to the rustle of leaves, praying in the privacy of his heart. In those moments, he felt God's love like a gentle embrace around his wounds. Silence not only helped James heal, but gave him strength to move forward as not to please others, but to live true to the path God set for him. The silence of your personal journey is a sacred refuge. It is where you can weep without fear of judgment, dream without fear of ridicule, and grow without needing applause. Think of a small stream flowing through a deep forest. It needs no one to know it to keep singing its song, no praise to nourish the trees along its banks. So too, you need not proclaim every step, every pain, or every victory to make them real. Silence lets you guard those moments like precious gems, shared only when you're ready, and only with those who truly value them. The Bible reminds us, treasure precious things in your heart and ponder them. When you keep your journey in silence, you are storing the sacred gifts God has given to bloom in their season. But the world will try to make you feel that silence is loneliness, that not sharing is selfishness. Do not let those words sway you. Your silence is not avoidance, but protection, protecting fragile dreams, healing wounds, and the right to be yourself. Look at the stars in the night sky. They need no one's attention to shine. They simply glow, each with its own light, unlike any other. Your journey is a star unique and precious, and you need not explain its light to make it real. I recall the story of Mary, a woman who felt lost when friends constantly compared her to others. But in quiet mornings, sitting by her window and praying, Mary realized she didn't need to be like anyone else. She began to cherish her slow steps, simple joys and dreams known only to her and God. Silence gave Mary freedom. Freedom from the pressure to explain, and freedom to live true to herself. Your sacred journey is not a public performance. It is a poem being written, a painting being crafted with colors only you and God understand. When you choose silence, you tell the world, you don't need validation to know you're enough. You tell yourself that every step, however small, however unseen, is part of the masterpiece God is perfecting in you. The Bible teaches, let your faith guide your steps. Silence is where that faith is nurtured, where you hear God whisper that you're on the right path, that you're never alone, and that everything will come in His time. Dear friends, embrace your sacred journey. Let silence be where you find strength to move forward, to heal, and to love yourself. Like a hill standing quietly in a valley, needing no words to assert its presence, your silence declares that your path is enough, that you are guided by unconditional love, and that you are becoming the person God created. Cherish those silent moments. Let them be where you store your dreams, pains, and hopes. And when you step out from silence, you will carry a free heart, a radiant soul, and an unshakable faith that you are on the path meant for you. Beneath a twinkling night sky, where stars silently shine in the vast expanse, there is a silence that radiates beauty without words. Each star, though small, though voiceless, glows in its own way, needing no one's approval to affirm its light. Dear friends, in a world that demands we flaunt, compete, and raise our voices to be noticed, I invite you to embrace a different strength, the strength of quiet confidence. It is a flame burning in the heart, needing no blaze to warm, no shout to be seen. Quiet confidence does not stem from praise or spotlights. It is like a mountain standing tall through millennia, needing no words to assert its majesty. Winds may blow, storms may rage, but the mountain remains steadfast, unmoved, no less valuable for it. So too, your confidence need not be measured by followers, accolades, or publicized victories. It is forged in silent moments when you face yourself, overcome doubts, and rise with the belief that you are enough, even without applause. Quiet confidence is dignity wrapped in grace. These words, like a cool stream, remind us that true strength lies not in showiness, but in calm, in the courage to be yourself without proving it. Think of a vast meadow swaying gently in the morning breeze. The grass needs no one's notice to keep growing. It simply rises, bringing life to the land. Your quiet confidence is the same. It doesn't demand you be the loudest in the room or win every argument. Instead, it calls you to walk with dignity, speak words of meaning, and act with sincerity. I once heard the story of Michael, a man working in a competitive office. His colleagues always sought to stand out, vying to speak in meetings. But Michael chose differently. He worked diligently, listened more than he spoke, and only spoke when his words added value. Over time, people respected him not for being loud, but for the calm presence that exuded undeniable strength. Michael's quiet confidence needed no fanfare, yet it changed how others saw him. The Bible teaches us, "Let humility guide your heart, and your strength will be revealed." Quiet confidence is humility forged in fire, strength, tempered by trials. It doesn't shun fear, but refuses to let fear steer its steps. I recall the story of Elizabeth, a young teacher who felt inadequate before her brilliant students. She feared judgment, worried her voice lacked weight. But in quiet evenings, Elizabeth prayed and reflected on her purpose. She realized her value lay not in perfection, but in bringing light to her students with love and dedication. From then, Elizabeth entered her classroom with newfound calm. She didn't need to speak loudly or do flashy things. Her presence, her care in each lesson was enough to touch her students' hearts. Her quiet confidence, nurtured in silence, became a beacon for those around her. Quiet confidence is walking past gossip without flinching, smiling at doubting glances. Knowing your worth needs no one's stamp. Think of a river flowing through a desert. It needs no praise to continue its journey. It simply flows, bringing life to barren lands. So too, with quiet confidence, you need not auction your worth for acceptance. You need not linger in places that dishonor your true self, or entertain those who mistake your kindness for weakness. The Bible reminds us, Let your light shine before others, not for praise, but to glorify your Father in heaven. Quiet confidence is that light unboastful, yet strong enough to touch other hearts. Building quiet confidence is not always easy. The world will convince you that you must be loud, prominent, competitive to be valued. It will make you feel that calm is a sign of weakness. But remember, even the sun rises in silence, needing no fanfare to herald its light. Your quiet confidence is that light forged in moments when you choose to walk on, rather than argue, forgive, rather than resent, love, rather than judge. I recall the story of Thomas, a father criticized for spending too much time with family instead of chasing a dazzling career. In quiet nights, praying beside his sleeping children, Thomas realized his confidence lay not in titles, but in the love he gave his family. He continued his path, explaining nothing, justifying nothing. Thomas's calm not only brought him peace, but became a model for his children, teaching them that true worth lies in the heart, not in applause. Quiet confidence is a sacred gift. It lets you stand firm in storms without being swept away, love without needing repayment, and live without craving validation. Think of seagulls soaring over a blue sky. They need no guide to know their path. They simply spread their wings, trusting the wind to lift them. So too, with quiet confidence, you trust the path God has set, the worth He has given you. The Bible teaches trust in the Lord, and He will make all things happen. Quiet confidence is that trust nurtured in silence, where you hear God whisper that you are enough loved, and that your light will shine in His time. Dear friends, embrace quiet confidence. Let it be the flame warming your heart, the shield guarding you from judgment, the light guiding you through darkness. Like stars, silently shining in the night sky, your quiet confidence declares that you are enough, strong and guided by God's unconditional love. Cherish the silent moments where you forge this strength. Let them be where you find freedom to be yourself, to love, and to live with unshakable dignity. And when you step out from silence, you will carry a radiant heart, a steadfast soul, and a light that touches the world with humility and grace. As the sun sets, draping the fields in a golden cloak, a silence envelops all things, like the gentle embrace of the Creator, comforting weary souls. Dear friend, we have journeyed together through the discovery of silence, where strength is forged, growth blooms. Each person's sacred journey is protected and quiet. Confidence shines like stars in the night. But above all, silence has led us to a gift more precious than any inner peace. A sanctuary no storm can breach a flame, no darkness can extinguish. Think of an ancient tree, its roots deep in the earth, its leaves swaying in the breeze. It needs no praise to stand tall. Its silence grants the strength to endure every harsh season. So too, when you choose silence, you root yourself deeply in God's love, finding unshakable peace even as the world around you roars. The Bible teaches us, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Silence is that invitation, a call to release your burdens, the pressure to prove yourself, and the fear of others' opinions. I recall the story of Laura, a mother exhausted from trying to please everyone. One afternoon, she sat on a park bench, watching leaves fall slowly to the ground. In that silence, Laura prayed and felt a miraculous peace, as if God whispered, "You don't need to chase the world. You only need to rest in me." From then, Laura learned to cherish silent moments where she found strength to love her family, forgive herself, and live with a light heart. Silence became the lamp, lighting her path, leading her to a peace she once thought unattainable. Dear friends, this journey does not end here. Silence is not just a destination, but a companion, always ready to welcome you when you need healing hope or to find yourself again. The Bible reminds us, "Let your heart rest in my love, for I will never forsake you." Inner peace is that promise, a vow that no matter how turbulent life becomes, no matter how loud the world's noise, you always have a place to return, where your heart rests in unconditional love. And now carry this silence into your life. Each day, take a moment to pause, to hear the wind sing through the trees, to feel your breath blend with creation's rhythm, and to hear God whisper that you are enough. Let silence become your strength, guiding you to peace and inspiring those around you with your quiet light. Start today with a small step, a moment of silence, and you will see your life bloom in ways you never dreamed possible.